Yeah.
You got muted. Ha! I didn't even mute you and you got muted. That's the beauty of this. Now we can. That's the beauty of this.
Yep. Welcome to the Basement Sports Network Postgame Show. I am the host, Royal, even though it's only me and Guy. But yeah,
the host.
Yeah, right. The host when we just finna go back and forth just talking shit. So the Miami Dolphins pulled out a 24-17 win over the New England Patriots, in which the first half was a thing of beauty. It was everything that we thought this team could be. And the second half shown a lot of the things that people worry about with this roster. The offense didn't really get it going. The defense was giving up points. But they came out with the win. So, Kyle, we're going to start off with your overall thoughts on the game.
So I told you guys Bradley Chubb was going to come out and have a good game. I said half a sack. I said he just needed the one to get going. I don't even want like on a serious analysis note. I said in the stream, and I've been saying for a while, last week, we remember I said it where it was like just kind of like a kicker when you need to see it go in, or just a goalie or not a goalie, but like a soccer player seeing the ball go through the net. Like just being able to see that obviously will give you confidence. Being able to see it, being like, okay, I got it, I still got it. Even that half a sack, and I said once he gets a half a sack, once he gets a sack, he will start to get it going. You just kept seeing last year and even the first game last week and the game this week, he was getting there. He was getting there. He was getting there. And then finally it turned like at the Rock. Finally it turned into sacks for the Miami Dolphins. And I'm really happy. I think it's great for Bradley Chubb. I think it's great to see him play the way he played and to be able to be a big contributor in this. I wasn't even screaming. This is crazy. Be a big contributor for this team. I'm just I know a lot of people are going to look towards the second half. I think even in the second half, I will still say Mike McDaniel outcoached the fuck out of Bill Belichick. I still think the entire game Mike McDaniel outcoached the shit out of him. I'm all for it. The Dolphins are 2-0. I said they would go 3-1 with the only loss being to the Bills in their first four. They're going to go against a 0-2 Broncos team who lost on a 2-point conversion to the Washington Commanders today.
It was a pass interference.
It was a pass interference. So was Tua's interception that he threw last week. But when they're not called, they're not called. Just keep it straight shooter. Dude, what the yuck? I need some water. But I'm happy with it. Look, Tua had a bad ball on that interception. I think with the pressure, he shouldn't have thrown that ball. I know he felt the pressure. They're gonna go into Miami next week. I think they'll beat the Broncos. They don't really, even though they had finally a good game today, the Broncos offense and the Broncos team, as a matter of fact. I don't think that the Broncos kind of have it together yet, and I don't think they will for a while. So overall, I'm very happy, very pleased. Mike McDaniel, you see, I'm turning it to you. Mike McDaniel showed that he is not a PE coach and why I stand the shit out of him. And, I always say it. I'm a Mike McDaniel stan. I was a stan as soon as, the opportunity to hire him was there. I'm happy. Overall, I'm happy. We're 2-0. We went into Foxborough and we got a win. Tua Tagovailoa is now 5-0 against Bill Belichick. That is not something to just kind of bat an eye to. That is extremely impressive for a young QB.
So you did mention Tua's moon ball that turned into an interception, but outside of that, Tua played a great game. 21 for 30, 249 yards. We were talking before the game. So close to the 250.
1 yard.
Kind of like, that we kind of like put out there they wanted, but he had a touchdown in there. But he was solid in this game. Didn't make a big mistake to losing the game. Mike McDaniel was great in the first half. I don't know if I necessarily agree that he was better than Belichick in the second half because Belichick kind of put an end to all that. He better thank his lucky stars for Raheem Mostert, who needs to get the game ball for today. 18 carries, 121, 2 touchdowns, especially the one kind of like to give them some breathing room in the second half to kind of put this game away. I want you to talk about Raheem Mostert's game, particularly like what you like, because I know you've been a big fan of his.
I mean, I told you, I wanted the run game to show up. I wanted Mike McDaniel to run the ball. Look, there's no doubt when you look back at his tape when he was in San Fran, and when you just watch even the stuff that he's had as the Dolphins head coach, he was a run game coordinator in San Francisco. The run game is his specialty. He has these two outstanding weapons. So obviously it gets a little bit different. But he specializes in run game coordination. He specializes in getting guys like a Raheem Mostert, a 31-year-old Raheem Mostert, I believe. Same as his jersey number, might be 32. But a 31-year-old Raheem Mostert and a Savon Ahmed who nobody wanted. A-Chain in limited touches today. Listen, he looked pretty good.
He had one touch.
He had a couple touches, but penalties. But I'm just saying limited touches because penalties. Just saying. But
are they on his stat sheet?
You're right, just like the DPI.
Just gotta deal with it as it is.
Yeah, I was just wait.
I know you're getting some water.
Yeah, so I need some water. But cool. I shout out to my lovely girlfriend Juliana for getting me water because I desperately need it.
I was saying her name like on stream because I didn't know if you were
everybody fucking knows Juliana.
Okay, I'm just gonna start saying her name from now on.
Yeah. But no, I'm very happy. I'm very pleased, and I like Raheem Mostert a lot. He's always been, I think, every year that he was in the NFL, it was always talked about. If this guy stays healthy, watch out. This is a guy that'll get you 1,000 yards. This is a guy that'll get you some touchdowns. He'll be useful in the passing game. And really, so far, that's what his career as a Dolphin's been. If he's healthy, he's playing, he's doing great, he's participating, he's being a good part of the offense, even when he's not a good part of the offense. I'm very happy. I've been telling you guys, I've been wanting them to run the ball. They can do it. Kendall Lamb, Robert Hunt on that touchdown run. Robert fucking Hunt, outstanding blocking. Connor Williams, even on that play, had good blocking. He's still having horrible snap issues. That snap that he did to Tua, he literally put on his ass cheek and not into Tua's hands.
I don't know if I'm blaming Connor Williams for all that. My boy Kendall pointed out in the chat that he is not a center, so he should not be there.
Of course, he's not a center, but I definitely think, when you put the ball in your fucking asshole, and again, last year, thank you, Juliana, I love you dearly. Last year, when Connor Williams was being the center, he wasn't having issues. This is showing up now because we walked away from this last year thinking, holy shit, we just got a bargain on a guy who's not a center, playing center, blocking great, and not having issues snapping the ball. You hold out for a new contract, buddy, and you come back playing like this.
He shouldn't be playing center, by the way. But I get your point. I get the point, but he is playing center, and so you have to assign the blame where it goes. But yeah, I do agree. Back to the earlier point about the running game, I do think that Raheem Mostert had a wonderful game, and I don't want to take anything away from him as a player. But I do want to give credit to Mike McDaniel for like you were talking about, the run game coordination, the play design on some of these runs is immaculate because it looks just like a lot of those passing plays that they do, and we'll talk about that route combination that they have with like the wheel route, the flat, and then the little stop route in there that they ran to death versus the Patriots. But the play design, you saw it. Like they ran most of their plays on like they were outside zones because they wanted to avoid kind of like that interior of the Patriots defense. Mm-hmm. And so they ran a lot of outside zones, and I got to give Mike McDaniel credit for that because that was a big part of why they were able to have a lot of success in that regard. Another thing, like I just alluded to it, but the staple of this passing game, that they run that same play so many different ways, and Tua has learned how to read it to perfection. I think that was a lot of the ways that they were able to overcome Tyreek Hill only having 5 catches and shit like that. Like, why does that play work?
It's just the speed. One thing I'll say, and I know it's a little bit of a deviation from the exact topic, but I think it deserves to be mentioned. Eric Ezukanma, look, I know it's few touches, it's limited touches, just like I said with Devon A-Chain, limited touches. But Eric Ezukanma is getting on the field, and they're using him a lot of these end arounds. They're using him on. I mean, if not for that outstanding play, I can't remember what defender it was. I think it was Kyle Duggar. Well, twice because one of them was the end around. The slant. Well, because on the slant, Kyle Duggar, what a fucking play!
And it was like the very next play,
dude.
That Kyle Duggar made him. Yeah.
If that ball gets to Eric Ezukanma, he has
that's a touchdown.
Nothing but space. That's touchdown. First career touchdown for him. But I think that with those play designs and everything, they're using him, and they're using him as well, along with Jaylen Waddle, along with Tyreek Hill, where it's like, okay, even though you haven't seen any of this guy, Eric Ezukanma, we're still going to put him out on this wide receiver screen, and you're going to follow him, and then we're going to have this slant, and then we're going to have this curl, and then we're going to have this post, and we're going to have this end around. And it's just like, it doesn't matter what. River
Speaking of the
cracked
wide receiver,
again
the wide receiver screen. Sorry to cut you off right quick, but the one on 2nd and 19
to Jaylen Waddle.
Bro, like that, like that's what I'm saying. Like the play design from Mike McDaniel is what has been the most impressive part about it. Like that first half was great in terms of what he was able to do. Now, look, I do believe he got out coached in the second half. I believe the Patriots adjusted and they shut all that shit down. So, like, and the game became competitive. But you cannot, you can't like poo-poo what Mike McDaniel has done with this offense in the way that it feels redesigned. Like there are some concepts from last year, but it feels like a redesigned offense, and they've added in much of the same of that pre-snap motion because they did a lot of it last year, but they're using it differently. You see Tyreek Hill lining up. You see Tyreek Hill line up like as like a tight end before he goes out in motion and shit like that. And it's just creativity and shit like that has me like I want to give that man his props, considering that I shit on him all the time.
No, and remember too, last year a lot of the issues that people have with these pre-snap motions with the Miami Dolphins were all penalties, illegal motions, illegal formations, false starts, even though or offsides, whatever, that was a lot of the issue last year with the Dolphins and these pre-snap motions, and it's cleaned up. And one thing, I know you've only been following the Dolphins extremely closely for a year because your boy Aaron Rodgers, hopefully, listen, I might hate the Jets, never wish injuries on anybody. Hopefully he comes back stronger.
Fuck the Jets.
Fuck the Jets, but Aaron Rodgers, he's cool. But it's the first time now, I think, ever in Tua's NFL career, and then just in general for the Dolphins for a long time, that it's been stability with the offensive coordinator, stability with the playbook, stability with the play calling. You're seeing growth by not only the offense, and even Tyreek Hill mentioned it a ton, and I think it's been mentioned and it's worth mentioning. He is an insane player. He was already an insane player coming to the Dolphins. They've made him better. And that's something where it's like, how the fuck could you have made someone who was already one of the best threats in the fucking world on a football field better?
Well, it's because the NFL has gotten.
But you get what I'm saying? It's just like,
the NFL has gotten used to Tyreek Hill being used a certain way. Vertical threat, the same way any typical like speed player is used. But what Mike McDaniel has done has made him like he's a threat in the run game, even though he's not running the ball. Because the play design between run and pass looks very similar. And so every time he's shooting across that the line of scrimmage, you have to account for him, and it's opening up running lanes for the running players. And his impact has made him a better player. So I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with this. What the fuck, Jason Sanders?
Okay, so
go ahead.
Let me that as a special teams savant and someone who loves
Dick Rider.
Loves the ins and outs of how special teams works. That play from the special teams court, which I believe is Bill Belichick's son. I think still it might not be, but I think it still might be his son.
Wait, are we talking? We might be talking about, because I think they're talking about the missed field goal, not the blocked field goal.
But it plays. But it plays into hand. I think that it's still Steve Belichick. I could be wrong. I might need to fact check myself on that, but.
You talking about the Patriots special teams coordinator? Okay.
Yes, I think it might still be Steve Belichick, but I could be wrong. I think that he might have been promoted to I don't know. It's a weird thing. They don't give their coaches titles. But their special teams coordinator, that type of play. Who? I'm sorry?
Cameron Accord.
Cameron Accord needs a fucking raise. That type of play. We haven't seen anything that elite in terms of special teams, just both plays, by the way, not just the block, because that second kick, that long kick, which they shouldn't have taken in the first place, to be honest. But that's especially in Foxborough, but that second play as well, coming around that edge, you're going to get kickers, even I would say, even like a Justin Tucker, guys who are elite, they're getting scared.
They're going to short shorten their stride on them kicks.
Absolutely. We haven't seen something like that in terms of getting to the kicker since they were jumping over. I think that was Bobby Wagner that was jumping over the center. Dude, I thought he came from out of bounds. Legitimately, I was looking around like, where's the flag? Until they went to that all 22 feed, and I was just like, dude, how? And Christian Wilkins, by the way, it is.
You can't blame Christian Wilkins.
It is right to know on the first one, no shot, you blame him. Now on the second one, when you know it's coming again,
You can't, but he has never seen that before. Kendall called it wizard. Kendall called it wizardry in the chat, and I was like, I want to give him credit for that because I thought that was elite. I had never seen anything like that, and I wouldn't know. It would shock me if anybody could adjust to that in one play. And so, like,
I don't think you can, but just I feel like you have to at least get an arm out. The second time he didn't try to get an arm out at all. But obviously they have assignments and they have other things. Like you can't just. I don't want to blame him for the miss in terms of Jason Sanders. I think you will get great kickers that will get goosebumps and spooked when they go up against the Patriots like that.
No, people don't want to hear that shit. We want to blame Jason Sanders and tell him
you
that
shouldn't. Jason Sanders is a great kicker. I'm sorry.
He just missed that field goal. He sucks.
Jason Sanders is a great kicker. I'm sorry. He's a great kicker. Jake Bailey, by the way, listen.
Ashton. People are going to start copying that shit.
Oh, 100%. I noted it because I said I did little notes. Lovely. I'm like you. I have an Apple ecosystem now. And my lovely iPad Pro, 12.9 inch, 256 gigabytes.
Cook.
I typed up some notes as the game was kind of getting towards the end of things I wanted to talk about. I put it under special teams just because I want to give it a small thing. Horrible night, obviously. Fire the special teams coach. It's time to go. I still believe it's Danny Crossman. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Jake Bailey, from that first punt, really improved. Those last two punts subsequently following that first punt were very, very good. That's the Jake Bailey that we should be expecting to get.
It is Danny Crossman.
Perfect. That is the Jake Bailey that we should be expecting to get because he absolutely he's a great punter. But that first 37-yard punt was insane, but it's
nice.
Oh, and Madden NFL just announced that they're adding Tyreek Hill to the 99 club for the first time.
Yeah, he just got a drop in Ultimate Team. They gave him an 88 card with like a 90 speed. I already bought him on my Ultimate Team, by the way. My Dolphins team is up to 35 Dolphins. If for anybody who cares about stuff like that.
I want to add also for coaching because we talked about. I said I think that Mike McDaniel outcoached Bill the whole game. I know you said in the second half. Look, I'll say the second half it was cutting it close, but I still think he outcoached him just because of things that we saw. Maybe not in terms of completions because of maybe pass rushing or anything, but just scheme or players making plays. Kyle Duggar, like just players making plays. Like and that's I just want to say O-line coach. Wait, I'll let you go first before I bring it up.
No, because I was going to switch it to defense since we've been so offensive leaning. But I do want to get that out though. If we're going to talk about offense, let's wrap up the entirety of the conversation on offense. What were you about to say?
O-line coach was getting a ton of shit all off season because he was with the Broncos and they fired him and they were like, "Oh, he's hard on people. He's an asshole. He's this. He's that." I believe I recall saying like, and we talked about a lot with Brian Flores. I want my coach with those D-line coaches, O-line coaches, linebacker coaches. I want you to be a fucking asshole because you need that mentality. You can't be on a D-line and be like, "Hey, friend, how's it going?" No, like you need to be a fucking asshole. So if he's coaching them hard, and mind you, the Broncos offensive line last year was fucking awful, and it still is right now. He has made these guys look great. And I'll say Juan gave a lot of credit to Tua and his pocket presence. And I think that that's definitely a thing because you still see it, especially on that beautiful ball to Braxton Berrios before the end of the half. But the offensive line is a great. Kendall Lamb, you didn't hear his name a single time this whole night. At all. You didn't hear his name. I can't even remember who the fuck we're starting at left guard right now because his name wasn't brought up. And you didn't hear fucking Robert Hunt.
Even CK tweeted it. Even when Teron Armstead comes back, there needs to be some serious consideration into Kendall Lamb standing in that lineup because he has played very well, bro. I know, like you give Austin Jackson some shit. He got beat a couple of times tonight.
It's Matthew Judon, though. I can live with that, especially after he handled Joey Bosa last week. Like
that's one of the sack leaders from last year. I think he might have led the league in sacks.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got somebody else.
Captain Canada.
Yeah, live from, I don't know if y'all have area codes in Canada or not. I know y'all got a prime minister. So live from the prime minister's palace, we got my boy 416 Jay. We want to let you go ahead and pop your shit, brother. Tell me what your thoughts were on the game overall. And we talk about offense, but go ahead and cook on whatever you
Like going into the game, I knew it was going to be kind of like a shitter in terms of I just thought the final score would be like 17-10, 17-14, something like that. But then you got into the game and you think, okay, this should be a game you're able to run away with, but then it turned into what you originally thought it would be. So that kind of sucked because you had the potential just to step on their throats and make this game kind of chill. But like I guess all divisional games usually aren't that, and it turned into something where it's like you're on edge for the whole night. But to be honest, like the game wasn't clean. Don't get me wrong. I'm just excited to be 2-0 on the road, and you really set yourself up nicely going forward for the playoffs. So again, it's really tough to win like that. Again, gritty win, but you take it. And honestly, I'm glad we won that game because that would be a game where I feel like in the past you'd probably lose it. Like I feel like that's a game where you kind of let it go, and past Dolphins teams you probably lose it. But I love the fact that we came out with a victory against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots in New England, because that's a huge win. Now you got to beat them at home, which I feel like you can do. With Zach Wilson at quarterback, seemingly, you could probably sweep the Jets, and then you got to steal one in Buffalo, if not beat them both times. So I feel like you've really set yourself up in a place in a tough AFC where you can still kind of be there and be in the running for the AFC East, and if not the AFC. So again, they don't all come too clean, and I'm just being real here. It's not like me last time where I'm just gassing everything because it wasn't a win like that. It was just it was like some real victory shit. Like it just a real win. You get out of there with a win, and you kind of just say, you know what, we made it out with a victory, and that's all that really mattered.
I think one of the things that I liked about this is that a lot of times where you were talking about they would lose this game in different situations, a lot of times it felt like they would try and force Tua to throw them to a win. And they stuck with the running game in the second half, and they were rewarded for it by Raheem Mostert. A guy like both of you guys are like the two biggest Raheem Mostert fans that we got on here for some reason. So I feel like I'm boxed in into giving that motherfucker praise. But but yeah, like Raheem Mostert, like getting the ball in the second half, he rewarded them on that. I do want to pivot to the defense because we've been offense leaning this entire time. I think everybody on the defense except for Eli Apple played well. Like Eli Apple is a fucking bum.
Dude, and he didn't have a bad first half either. Like,
he
that's
is a fucking bum. Conscientism. I don't give a fuck.
I don't like him. No, whoa. I don't like him. I'm just saying he didn't have a bad first half. But my fucking God, that's it. You cannot let Devontae fucking Parker of all people cook you like that.
In one drive, he gave up fucking 40 yards, bro.
2 DPIs.
By himself, bro. Like his shit was, I don't know, bro. He sucks. But I want to hear your overall thoughts on the defense. Go ahead. I know you're gonna start with Bradley Chubb. Sorry, too. I'm talking to you, Kai.
I know. Listen.
You just want to let that sit for a little while.
I'm gonna pivot because I think Bradley Chubb deserves a little more time to earn his flowers. I will say, because this is back-to-back weeks. And his name doesn't get brought up. He's not one of these people that gets talked about a lot. This is not one of these guys where you're just like, oh, this is a wonder boy. Justin Bethel. Last week, free rusher was part of the reason why we got that sack. Well, one of the main reasons why we got that sack to end the game against the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. Justin Bethel. The reason why Mike Gesicki, besides the fact that Mike Gesicki can't get Yak to save his life, held him back and held him, making sure that he did not get that first down. Like it needs to be like there needs to be some respect on his name for his ability to come up when it matters, because he came up huge last week on the game's last defensive play, and he came up huge this week on the game's last defensive play. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's great. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's some crazy player, but it's worth to note that it takes a certain person to be clutch. It takes a certain person to make those moments when they come to you. And Justin Bethel's done it 2 for 2 weeks on the last play of the defensive drives.
I got another person because I mentioned him in the pregame show, and boy showed up tonight. My boy, AVG. Andrew Van Ginkel made fucking plays tonight. They needed somebody to be on that other side of Bradley Chubb. I mean, I thought Bradley Chubb, when it did shit, he actually did things and stuff in the football game tonight. So shout out to him, I guess. But Andrew Van Ginkel was the best pass rusher on the Miami Dolphins tonight. He made plays in space. He made plays chasing the quarterback. I think he got him a sack. Like, I was just overall impressed with his effort. And so I wanted to make sure I didn't get out of here without mentioning my guy, who I've been a big fan of for like 2 years now. And I feel like he should play more. 416, what was your outlook on the defense from tonight?
Well, just to add on to your AVG point, it's funny because like we didn't sign him until like later in the free agency cycle. Like we were probably going to go without him, and now you see he like in a normal game he's playing stacked off ball linebacker like in the middle of the field. So you have him for that, and then now when Phillips misses time, it's not like Ogba just steps up. You want Andrew Van Ginkel still on the field, so you move him outside. You put David Long on the inside, who also had a good game early on, especially. But it's just funny to think like. There's a chance we might not have just re-signed him and we would have just went in without him. And he's been so valuable to this defense, even without Jalen Phillips being hurt. It's not like he's just coming in now. He was so good last game in terms of, or not so good, but he was at least the guy who won the job last week. So I just think it's really important. For me on the defense, it was just huge because the DBs still aren't tackling other than Javon Holland, like Kader Coe, who had some struggles in the tackling game. He also had some great hits too, but it just seems on a down-to-down basis, consistency. It's been a little bit tough in terms of the cornerbacks tackling, especially Eli Apple. You wonder how long until Cam Smith gets in there. But like to me, it was a huge improvement from last game, especially against a team who you would expect to.
Nothing. Just drop your nuts. Really, that's all. Who that Rich?
For the Cam Smith
He's
mention,
needed.
but
He's needed.
That's an if he can't get on the field over Eli Apple, bro, I'm wondering. I want to let 416 finish his point before we move on to that.
Nah, it's not even the point. It was just the run defense was like clearly improved upon. He had much more bigger guys in. Like he had Wilkins and Siegler lining up like in the B gap or like on the tackle. Like he was not letting motherfuckers run inside. Like there was no it wasn't happening. So. Yeah, I just thought the defense, like, they addressed exactly what they needed to. And then I was never really worried about Mac Jones. Like, people looked at the box score from last week and were kind of, like, gassing him up a little bit. It's like, bro, if you watch the game, like, a lot of that is in the 2-minute drill. He threw the ball, like, 57 times. It wasn't, like, the box score made it seem like a little bit better. I'm not saying he played bad, but it's not like he played great either. So, to me, it's like, stop the run and you win the game. So, it was just a great game for Vic Fangio.
His game was very similar to Tua's, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Like,
in this game, yeah. I'm talking about first game. Yeah.
You're talking about first game. But, hey, bro, I did give Tua his flowers. He played great in one half. And in the second half, he didn't lose the game, which is
and he handed the ball off.
He handed the ball off like he did his job.
You do what your coach asks you to do.
You do your job, bro. And I wanted to make this clear, like pregame. Like I didn't necessarily need Tua to go out here, throw 75 touchdowns, nothing. I needed Tua to come out here. If you either throw for big yards and big touchdowns and win it, or you throw for medium yards and you don't lose it. And I think he did the latter. Like he threw almost 250. He threw 249, but he did not make the bonehead, like, what the fuck are you doing throw to it? Like the moon ball, okay, cool. I'll give him one though. But it wasn't like the bonehead, like you clearly shouldn't have went there with the ball. I think he made solid decisions with the ball all night. I think he passed well. I thought he played good. Like I was fine with Tua's performance. I have no gripes with it. So let's get to Tua since people brought him up. Jay, wait. I'm sorry. Where are we going? Where are we moving past?
Bradley Chubb needs his flowers. Okay. No, he needs his time in the sun. Listen, man. No, Bradley Chubb.
That's what we can do. Like,
no, dude. Everybody was sitting here and shitting on Bradley Chubb and shitting on Bradley Chubb and shitting on Bradley Chubb, and he came out and had a statement game against the New England Patriots.
He had a statement 2 drives.
What do you mean? He was all over the field. He was pressuring the quarterback. He forced a fumble. He had almost 2 sacks if you count the half.
I saw him drop back in coverage and get a tackle too. Like, dude, I saw him.
Listen, bro, give Bradley Chubb his fucking flowers, man. He played. He did what he needed to do. He played a great game. You can't be upset with that. And for the defensive side of things, man, think about it. If you have him, AVG, and Jalen Phillips playing at a high level, that is a deadly pass rush for any team to go against. It is.
So, I mean, I'm going to do my hater thing and just say Chubb had 2 half sacks, which equated to 1 sack. So, I guess he got to the quarterback, kind of, maybe.
He didn't get a solo. He absolutely had a solo sack. There's no way that's not on the stat sheet. Are you serious?
He had a half a sack, and then he had another half a sack, and then he got
He had a solo sack for sure. That's bullshit. He should have 1.5 on the staff sheet. On the stat sheet,
I know he had 2 tackles for loss, but he didn't have.
On the stat sheet, he should absolutely.
He was fine. I'm not going to gas him like that.
He was good. He wasn't. He actually
You were
no.
not
Today
in
he
it.
was very good because he forced the fumble too. But it's like you just need this. If he did this consistently, then it's like okay, we can talk about it. But he just needs to be more consistent. I think like the whole pressure shit like is real. But I also think I don't know. It's like a little bit in between. I think there's like super duper haters, and then there's people defending him like he is worth the contract completely. It's like it's somewhere in the middle. And I hate to be the guy to bring reason to the Basement Sports Network, but I think someone has to.
I'm the first one. I hate him, bro. I just don't. I think I've been tarnished by like Juan and Kendall and Threat. Like I don't know because I thought he was fine at first, and now I see no right in him.
The one to bring sanity when I literally bring sanity like every day. Like I'm like the most down the middle sane person here.
First of all, you talk about kickers on this program, and so there's no way that insanity can be viewed in the same light. I do want to talk about. He said, "Was Chubb elite? Not today. Not
dude. 21 for 30.
Yeah, Chubb.
Yeah, 250 yards. Like
I was going to circle around. One person that I did want to get to is Javon Holland. Second week in a row that he's gotten double-digit tackles. Like
that motherfucker can tackle. That motherfucker can tackle.
That's the one DB who can tackle like.
Whoa, Deshaun Elliott. Whoa. Deshaun Elliott has been tackled.
I said at an elite level. Deshaun's great. It's not.
Elliott had 3 tackles. I want to thank my boy Dan the Film Jet with the $2 dono. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen. He said the refs were fucking garbage tonight.
Did you guys talk about like? I'll be honest. I didn't really realize at the beginning. They showed on the clip. They literally allowed a touchdown that's not allowed, and then no one even no one gave it a second thought.
Chris Collinsworth goes, I guess that's legal now on the broadcast. I was like, they're talking shit about the Patriots?
They talk about who he passed the line, when Hunter Henry passed the line of scrimmage, blocked somebody, and then caught a pass.
And Mike Gesicki was down the field like this before the ball even got released.
And
like this.
Go ahead.
There was the one where I'm not sure if it was helmet to helmet, but it was just funny because I was like, they're like the one they picked up the flag. I was like, they're gonna pick it up. They're not calling this against Bill fucking Belichick. There's not a chance that they're calling like some like head-to-head shit against Bill Belichick. There's not a chance, and they picked it up. It wasn't actually like a head-to-head hit, so like it was worthy of being picked up. But I feel like against any other team, they wouldn't give that a second look. Bill Belichick probably gave him a little look, and they're like, okay, shit, we gotta pick this bad boy up.
So I don't customarily do the referee thing unless it's like super egregious. I remember there was like
2 weeks in a row that it's been egregious.
I remember there was like a pass interference call against the Dolphins players against the Raiders like 2 years ago in the end zone. I can't quite remember which player it was. I think it was Will Fuller. There was like a pass interference call. I thought that was ridiculous. But like I don't really do too much of the whole referee bashing thing. But yeah, I think the touchdown was bullshit from Hunter Henry. Don't really care about the holding thing. There's holding every play. Let's get back around to Tua, man, because we haven't given that man his flowers for what he did well in the first half. Tua was efficient with the ball again. No, he did not light the world on fire.
That wasn't called DPI.
That's normal hand fighting. So like Tua was efficient with the ball again. He did well. It wasn't the blowout, like he wasn't the best player on the field type. It wasn't the best player on the field type game, but I still think he played well. Kyle, I want to hear your honest opinion. I want to hear objective, both halves of Tua. Oh, we got some graphics up here. We got yards, 121, 6.7 yard average with 2 TDs from Raheem Mostert, 249 yards, 21 for 30, 1 TD from Tua. It was absolutely beautiful.
Justin, you made that, Justin?
Yeah, he did. You'll be able to check that out on the Basement Twitter in a few moments when Justin posted. But I do want to hear your honest, objective opinion of Tua from both halves, Kachi and Chisholm.
Well, first of all, Justin makes graphics like he's like a 70-year-old man that's been doing this for years. I just want to point that out because Justin deserves his flowers.
He's
more than elite. This man's a Hall of Famer already. On Tua's performance, we said before in pregame, and I'm just looking at stuff. I said I wanted 250, and I would be happy. 21 for 30, 249. I'm calling it 250.
He failed.
He did what he needed to do. Like I'm calling it 250. 21 for 30. The touchdown, the pick, only was sacked once. I want to give him credit for that as well as giving the offensive line credit for it. I will say that I don't want to give him too much shit for the interception. However, I do Oh my God, it was basically one point off.
Also, that name is makes sense. That's right.
I do want to say that like I don't want to give him too much shit for the interception. However, I think that back-to-back weeks throwing a pick, although last week's was definitely a DPI, isn't the greatest look, but I really don't care. Like you stated it, I think when it was just the two of us before Captain Canada came in, he didn't lose you the game. And in the game, listen, we can sit here. I'm seeing Dolphins fans on Twitter bitching and moaning. I'm not happy. I'm not this. I'm not that. You're not going to win every game in a shootout. You went to Foxborough, where regardless of if the Patriots are good or not, Foxborough is an insane crowd in Boston on Sunday Night Football in prime time, which the Dolphins are notorious for failing at. And you went in there, did what you needed to do, won the game, got out, and now you're coming back home with a chance to go 3-0. I'm very, very happy with it. He kept the ball secure. He was making great reads. Realistically, could have almost 300 yards if an insane play by Kyle Duggar. I don't want to. That was a great play because he barely got it on his fingertips. But that ball gets
Waddle
caught by
drop a fucking I don't know if he jumped, but man, he might still be going right now if Waddle caught that ball. It wasn't that it was a no look, but like you got to catch that.
I don't know if you can see it, but it says Waddle has drop issues. It still says it there.
He still leaves his feet to catch some passes too.
Bro, he jumps for no reason, or he starts to run before he has the ball. Like he gets too excited. Like he's too excited to run.
One day, someone will see my vision of how we should have picked Kyle Pitts. I still don't care. I love Jalen Waddle, and we should have picked Kyle Pitts.
Devontae Smith.
Or Devontae.
Smitty was my dog because he was a road runner. I was like, ooh.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe like it was me and you were the Smith people, and Waddle was Michael, if I'm not mistaken.
He just wanted anybody but Michael Parsons. Did he want Michael Parsons?
I don't think so. No.
No, I think he did want Michael Parsons.
But I'm very happy with Tua's performance. I think that he's gonna go and win at home. And look, sometimes you need to have a gritty win. Sometimes you need to have an ugly win. That just happens in the NFL. I mean, the Bills were being praised and lauded for I think it was 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago when they won 6-3 against the Jags. Maybe it was last year or it was 2 years. I know that the Jags won 9-6 against them last year, but I think it was 6-3 a while ago, where they won a game. Look, sometimes you need gritty wins. Sometimes you need ugly wins. Sometimes you have to go into a hostile environment. Mind you, one game last week on a complete opposite coast of where they are, one opposite coast, well, on the same coast, but way far down from where they are. I'm very happy with how Tua played, and sometimes you need an ugly win.
416, how did you feel Tua played?
Again, I feel like a lot similar. I thought on the interception, it was one of those ones where like I think the release is like it's almost like a golf shot where it's like he released it way too high. Like it wasn't even like maybe it's an arm strength thing, but like literally he released it way too high instead of like further. If you get what I'm saying, like the angle was off where it just stayed up in the air for so long, giving like listen, I love Tyreek, but like against Christian Gonzalez, who has like 5 inches on that boy, like that's not going to be a great ball. Other than that, it honestly kind of worked out. It flipped the field great. We got a huge stop and we got better field position at the end of it. So not defending it, I'm just saying like it worked out for the best somehow. I can't believe it did, but it worked out. But I thought he was efficient. I thought he did what he needed to do. And I was just glad McDaniel stuck to the run game. It was something I never thought he would really do after last game, but it looked great. And again, I tweeted this. It's like, Bill, you can run big nickel all you want. You can play deep all you want. That's fine. Tyreek had 40 yards. That doesn't matter. We will run the ball down your throat and force you to adjust. And if you don't adjust, we'll just keep doing it. And that's what we did, and we won the game. So I thought it was just a great overall game from the offense. And again, I'm not trying to like gas him or anything. It wasn't like a great game, but he just did a good job of running the offense and getting players where they need to be. There was a couple times where you see Tua like get up to your spot. The only thing I want fixed from Tua and the offense is like, I'm not putting on him. I do put on Connor Williams a little bit, but Tua has a role in it as well. Like those snaps, those mishandlings, like they have to be figured out. I don't care whose fault it is. I don't care what, like it has to be figured out. Like, listen, I have no problems with Connor Williams as a run blocker, in pass pro. I don't care. The easiest part of it, even the calls and the protections, like Connor Williams is good at that. That is the easiest part of your job is snapping the ball. You have to get that right. And I can't believe he wasn't snapping 500 balls a day in the offseason because this is ridiculous. It happens way too often.
He's not a center. I'm going to keep saying that until people realize that we have a not center playing center, okay? I get it. The snaps are horrific. And if you're going to be playing center, then you need to get that part of the game right. But the Dolphins should probably just go get a real center and then move Connor to guard and let him be dominant there. But, yeah, I agree, though. Like, the snaps are a bad thing. There were a few, like, Tua did fall on a drop back, so maybe that was a footwork issue or something like that. But I have been a big proponent of this for a long time. I don't give a fuck how Tua wins the game as long as he doesn't lose it. He did not lose the game today. He did not put the ball in harm's way. He did not make me feel at any point that he was out of control. He felt like he was in control the entirety of that game. He was in control of the offense. He was in control of himself. Yes, you threw an interception. Everybody throws an interception. I don't care what the reason for the interception was. I saw one-on-one with Tyreek Hill and whoever the cornerback is. I don't care if it's Christian. I don't give a fuck how tall he is, whatever. You see one-on-one with Tyreek Hill, you throw that goddamn ball. It was a bad throw. You live
to play another down. Yeah.
You live to play another down, you learn. But bro, Tua did not lose this game. And that's all I cared about. He actually made a few plays, but he didn't give the ball away. And so, like, if you don't do that, then you had a solid game at quarterback for me. Go ahead.
He did what's expected of a franchise quarterback.
Huh?
He did what's expected of a franchise quarterback.
For sure. He looked like a franchise quarterback to me like that. Like, I don't have to see 400 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns every week. I know what good quarterback play looks like. I've been watching it my whole life. That was good quarterback play that we got tonight. Like, and that's all it is. I'm not starting to see the light. I've always seen the light. It's just a matter of when he was. I've never said Tua was not talented. He's a talented person.
I mean.
Hey, first of
you're
all,
a liar, bro. You know what I mean? You're a good liar.
I'm a good liar because I tell people that I be lying, and I'm lying right now, so you're going to shut up and let me do it. Tua has talent. Okay? What those talents are, the world may never know. But right now, he's playing good quarterback for the Dolphins, and you want to give him credit for that. So I'm not going to harm the man too much. Let's talk about these receivers a little bit. You guys alluded to Tyreek not having the 5 yard of the big game receiving. Jaylen Waddle did step up with 4 receptions for 86 yards. Want to know what you guys thought about the receiving core as a whole and just kind of the contributions that you got from there, considering that's one of the stronger units on this team. Kyle, we'll start with you this time.
Jaylen Waddle still can't catch the football. I think that's all I want to talk about. Like, I spent the entire year plus off season getting absolutely fucking cooked for sitting here and standing on my high horse and saying that Jaylen Waddle cannot fucking catch the football. He can't. Like, I don't want to be an ass. I love Jaylen Waddle. I really do. I love Jaylen Waddle. He's an elite threat. He's elite speed. If he can fix some of the catching problems, he can be a top 5, if not top 3, like wide receiver in the NFL when the time comes. I firmly believe that. But he can't catch. Like, the same way that we're sitting here saying, you know, Connor Williams needs to work on his snaps.
Dude, Eli Apple can't.
Jalen can't. It's a consistent thing. Like, I know, you know, I'm sure. I mean, you know football. I know football. Captain Canada knows football. Like, in teaching the fundamentals of football, one of the things you tell them is to not catch with your fucking chest, and that's all he tries to do. You get told one of the first things is like a fucking diamond. It's like one of the first things you get told. And he just goes.
According to Michael Irvin, you can catch the ball with your chest in certain situations. I don't know what.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, in every situation, the dude gets the. I wish I had a football, but it's like he goes like this and tries to catch every ball like this.
No, you're forgetting a step here. You're forgetting a step too.
you must first leap into the air.
even if you don't have to. Like, even if it's a low jump. Oh no.
He goes like this, right? The ball's coming, and he goes. But that's what right?
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is prime analysis. Kyle was like, twisted his ankle. Beautiful.
Catch the ball.
Where else will you get visual analysis like this? But my boy said consistent with a question mark. And ladies and gentlemen, consistency is Key, we want to thank my boy Dan the Film Jet for the $5 dono. He said, yeah, come on, man. You got to give credit to Chubb. He was like your insurance difference maker. It worked out in the end. And if you need your stuff to work out in the end with your insurance, make sure you thank the primary sponsor of the Basement Sports Network, Simple Health Advisors. Ladies and gentlemen, insurance does not need to be complicated. Make sure you email my guy James Pugh or give him a call today and tell him that the basement sent you. Email my guy James Pugh at jpugh@simplehealthadvisor.com or give him a call at 321-345-7738. My man does health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, any kind of insurance that you're looking for. Y'all make sure y'all hit up my man James Pugh. Give him a call. Tell him that we sent you, and he'll look out for you. I appreciate you for throwing that lob to me, Dan the Film Gent. The man spans two different types of ball, man. He do basketball and football lobs out here. We're going to call him our tool down there, lobbing that ball up in the air like that. I did want to get your thoughts on the same topic, 416.
Oh, on the receiving core, I mean, they did what they need to do. Almost the same thing. It was more on the run game and Raheem Mostert, so that was good. Again, other than Waddle dropping the ball, Tyreek was just getting bracketed, 3 safeties. Like, there's not much you can do. I thought they ran their routes good. I think Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft, like with their opportunities, they usually make the most of it. I mean, not whole shot, but that throw on the route to Braxton Berrios on like the zig route where he zigs and went up. That was a great ball from Tua and a great catch to get his feet in. The time was running. It didn't really matter, but that was a great ball. And I just feel like, we don't really have a wide receiver 3, but we don't really need one. The one comment I will say is that in other games, I feel like it's fine, but against Bill Belichick, you can't really do this tricky stuff with like Eric Ezukama. Like, I love like the vision, but Bill Belichick don't play that shit. He don't play the end arounds. He don't do that. His guys are ready to tackle. Like, you can't really do that. So those play calls I wasn't excited about, but I like the way they're using Ezukama, and I think if they keep doing that at some point, it can work out. But again, it was not like a huge game from the receivers, but just like Tua, the passing game did what it needed to do. It wasn't some electric game with a bunch of go routes and a bunch of deep balls, but that's not going to happen every game. That's why you get excited about games like the Chargers, because it happens so many times in one singular game, but usually that happens once, maybe a game. So it was just nice to see them do exactly what they need to do. Other than Waddle, usually have secure hands and grab the ball. But I just think they have guys for specific situations, and they're using them exactly for that. So, again, nothing crazy to say about the receivers, but did what they need to do.
To that point, bro, I think this gives me a perfect opportunity to shout out Durham Smythe because Durham's
Bro, Justin's moving crazy.
Hey, bro. First of all, bro, y'all need to make sure that y'all paying attention to Kane Justin out here, bro. One of the most elite members of the basement team, bro. Like, shit don't move unless my boy here. Like, so y'all shout out to Justin, man. But I did want to shout out Durham Smythe too, bro. Like, he has given them a tight end option as a receiver when they couldn't find it. Like, I don't know what it is about the difference between him and Mike Gesicki. I would think Mike Gesicki is a better pass catcher, but Mike McDaniel has found a way to better use Durham Smythe than he ever did with Mike G any of last season. So, and that speaks to kind of like everybody chipping in a little bit. You saw Durham Smythe had a couple of catches last week. He got 3 for 23 this week, but I like what I've seen from him and the tight end room in general. Like, he's the only one who really playing, but I fuck with Durham Smythe, bro. Like, anybody else fucking with that guy?
No, I got something to add. Like, I'll be honest, he does exactly what he needs to do. Speaking on that point, it's something I've been thinking about. Alec Ingold do that too, of course. Shout out to Juan. I've been thinking about Alec Ingold and Durham Smythe are so important to the offense. Probably the 2 most important guys outside of Tua, Armstead, Waddle, Reek. Like, they do exactly what they need to do. And then it's no wonder that those were the 2 role players who got contract extensions, which were semi-lucrative for the positions they play. At least
4.9 for Durham Smythe, I think, this year.
Yeah, 4.9, and then you have Ingold, who we just extended as well. But it's no wonder that those guys are the guys who got extensions this early on and as lucrative as they were. So shout out to those 2 guys. And yeah, they're super important. Durham Smythe, listen, he'll never be a crazy vertical threat, but he blocks well enough, and he can do the work you need to in those flat routes. So he's great. And then we all know Alec Ingold has been one of the best, 3 fullbacks since he's joined the Dolphins. So he's been really good, worth his payment. And like, how many fullbacks can block the way he does and catch the way he does? He's not like a runner. Like, a lot of fullbacks, I feel like they're used as runners sometimes. He's more of a guy who blocks and catches balls. So it's really sick to see that. So again, I agree with you, Roy. Like, he'll never be some George Kittle, Travis Kelce, but in this offense, you don't need him to be.
I think that hits the nail on the head. You need to be able to catch the ball and block, and he does those things like at a elite enough level to the point where it helps his offense continue to move. Any other topic that you guys wanted to touch on before we start wrapping this up? We've been on here about 50 minutes.
I just want to run through my notes that I generated just because I think
we got to get like a segment where it's like Kai's notepad or something, and like a little graphic.
Oh, I'm telling you, buddy, I got the notes, my friend.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're gonna put them boys. We're gonna put them graphics boys to work.
So, I put to start. I said Raheem is the dream. Waddle still has drop issues. We all saw Kai can secure a ball. Tyreek is him. I don't care. Tua looked great. Poor interception. We'll learn for it. Can't hate on Austin Jackson. Matthew Judon finally showed up in the second half. I wrote Alec Ingold is worth every penny. I was gonna write Chubb gave me a Chubb, but it just says Chubb showed up tonight, so decided to try. I put X is still him. Kendall Lamb's doing great. Eli Apple should stay in Foxborough. Connor Williams has bad snap issues, and I love David Long Jr.
Yeah, so
shout out X.
Shout out to X, man. I gave him a lot of shit. I caught him cooked earlier. He made one hell of an interception,
bro. My man.
I never doubted him either, Kachi and Chisholm, if you look at my Twitter. But that's because I'm an elite liar, and none of you will ever catch me in none of my lies unless I tell you. It's like, you know it. Don't give a fuck if you do, because you bitches are algorithm people. Yeah, I think that's a good enough topic. You guys can catch us on Thursday when we have kind of like our weekly show. We'll do a deep dive in this, dig into a little bit of next week's game.
But I add one quick thing leading up to our preview show?
Yeah.
The Broncos have allowed 26 points per game. The Dolphins have scored 29 points per game. The Broncos defense is not good. And even today, even though, Russell Wilson had a little bit of a better game, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
He's not good.
Had 53% completion percentage.
He's cooked, bro.
The Dolphins should absolutely smack the living dog shit out of the Denver Broncos at home next week on Sunday.
First home game of the season, by the way, so we want to make sure.
See you at the Rock, baby.
Yeah, but
they don't let you in the U.S. Relax.
You got your passport, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? Don't you be there trying to invade our country.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, Russell Wilson is ass, bro. Like he's lost the magic that kind of made him himself, and so now he's just like a average to below average, like thrower of the football. And I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, thank you guys in the comments as always for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my boy Kachin Chisholm and my man 416J. Follow them both on Twitter. Don't follow me. I'm only going to piss you off. We'll see y'all motherfuckers next time. Play the video, Justin.